Assalamualaikum and very good morning to juries. My name is Muhammad Uliwardin bin Abdul Latif. I'll be presenting my project which titled The Development of a Dodecacopter using Pixhawk Autopilot Flight Controller for Cargo Delivery Drone. Well, this is the background of the study. So nowadays, unmanned aerial vehicle (UAV) research and development have been popular and allow approaches for numerous users, including tactical flights, search and rescue activities, topography. To stabilize itself, this type of multicopter requires a continuous real-time control operation. Thus, this case of analysis possess difficulty in the field of control engineering. So the Dodecacopter consisted of coaxial rotors, which a pair of rotors are mounted one above the other with the same axis of rotation but turning in opposite direction. So the problem statement, the main issue in previous research on quadcopter is the balancing and stability system. So most of quadcopter design will be unbalanced and lost stability in case there are disturbance such as wind. So the objective of the study is to design and develop a dodecacopter using the Pixhawk system, design and develop the flight control algorithm of a dodecacopter itself, and to test the ability of flight operation of dodecacopter in terms of stability and positioning control. So this is the methodology of this project, which first the hardware development, software development, troubleshoot and maintenance, flight testing, flight stability, and the flight log analysis can be portrayed as a vehicle with 12 propellers joined to rotors situated at the cross casing. So fixed pitch rotors are applied to control the vehicle movement. The paces of these 12 rotors are free. By free, pitch, roll, and yaw orientation of the vehicle can be controlled effectively. So this is the rotation of every rotor of the dodecacopter configuration. This is the Pixhawk wiring connection, which you guys can see. I'll be using the 12 motors, 6 above and 6 below. I'll be using the mission planner MP, provides full flight control and mission planning for any Maveling enabled drone. So its primary goal is ease of use for professional users and developers. So board PWM count set to value of 4 because of the Dodecacopter use 12 outputs, which 8 outputs from the main output and 4 from the FMU output. In this configuration, the frame class is set to value of 12 based on the Dodecacopter configuration. For the servo motor configuration, the motors act as a servo in this configuration. Every servo needs to be defined for each motor. So based on this figure, flight mode channel are set to value 5, which is mapped to remote control channel that used to control the flight mode output. So for the results and discussion, the finding is the motor output signal. So the Dodecacopter consists of 12 motors that produce signal independently. For safety measure, propellers are uninstalled while testing the output signal from the motor. This test performed by using Bitscope micro hardware and software. So the output signal achieved shown in this figure. This signal shown in a pulse modulating with PWM signal. Typically, the output distribution power produce voltage of 1.36 volt to 4 volt based on the motor used for the multicopter. So for the manual flight test, these tests are performed to investigate the manual operation mode, flight altitude and position locking. So two types of manual flight mode are used in this test, which is position hold and stabilize. So data acquired from the flight log in the ground control station. So based on this figure, flight data shows the value of altitude, airspeed, ground speed, arming condition, GPS condition, satellites value, flight mode, distance and batteries voltage. So in this flight test, the targeted altitude 1 meter until 6 meter has been achieved with a stabilized flight mode. This shows that the ability of the Dodecacopter to take off until altitude of 6 meter with 12 motors equipped. So the results are shown in this demographic video. So the flight data also can be computed into Google Earth to show the altitude of the plane, flight altitude and the route of the flight. So this figure shows the exact route of the manual flight testing from the arming position until land. So this figure shows the altitude of the plane and the altitude of every changes during the flight from the arming point until landing point. So the contribution to the society, so the Dodecacopter proof of concept that has been used for the test platform for Malaysian Book of Record for sea drone highest payload lifting drone, which is the payload is 200 kilograms. And this study contributes on a fully functional multicopter which consists of 2 motors with a frame of Dodeca. Independent control of the motors was developed based on the parameters from the flight control and ground control station software. And this system, which consists of hardware configuration, software configuration, and pre-flight procedure of the multicopter, is introduced. And this system is demonstrated by output motor signal, flight testing, and ground control station communication. Thank you.